Everyone back tuning into today's video. Got a lot of ground to cover again in today's video. Going to be looking at the rain today that's developing, and then the situation at the weekend. I've been monitoring the situation at the weekend since around Saturday when I did the weekend forecast, and I've been a bit concerned about it. Yesterday I thought it looked like we'd be alright. Today it's looking very, very bad for the weekend. I'll have a look at that in a minute. If I go on with the video, I just want to talk about the advertising. There's a video out sitting just above this weather video at GarethWeatherVids.com. Please play it. You'll be supporting GarethWeatherVids.com by doing that. So this is the current radar picture from the UK Met Office, and we've got a lot of heavy rain coming into the south and the southwest of the country. Just at the moment, that rain is starting to move up in towards Wales and into parts of the South Midlands as well, but the heavy stuff is down to the southwest. But that rain is going to develop more through the course of the afternoon, possibly giving some snow over the high ground of the Welsh mountains. But I think mainly this is still going to be a rain event for most of us. This is a facts chart from the UK Met Office for midnight tonight. Very horrendous looking facts chart indeed, with a dartboard low pressure right over the top of central England, 983 millibars, very deep area of low pressure for the middle of May. It's a triple point low. We've got cold front there going down into France, got warm front on the eastern side, and then we've got this occlusion coming round on the back side. So yeah, that's a triple point low, and the heaviest of the rain is usually on and to the east of the triple point, so that's right over central parts of England, getting some really heavy and torrential rain at midnight tonight. And then that low pressure is going to move further north and east through the course of Wednesday morning. It's Wednesday tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, Wednesday morning that rain will move north and east. So this is the high resolution NAE precipitation forecast. This is from the website Weather Online, but this model, the NAE model, is from the UK Met Office, and the BBC forecasts are based on this. The precipitation forecast that you'll be seeing in the BBC forecast over the next few hours will be based on this model. We can see that, and by the way, you can find Weather Online on my links page. So we can see about at 6 o'clock this evening, we've got this extensive area of heavy rain across much of England and Wales. Not quite into North Wales or Northern England, but really for the rest of England and Wales. Very wet picture for the end of the afternoon, coincide with the rush hour, of course. So if you're travelling about later on this afternoon into this evening, do take care. The roads will be very wet and slippery. To go through to midnight, remember we've got the triple point low. That's where the triple point is, somewhere around central parts of England, and yes, we can see that the darkest colours are across central parts of England into West and South Wales on that triple point. So I say it's generally on or just to the east of the triple point where you get the very heaviest of the precipitation, and the model is showing this very nicely. Some really torrential rain there. That could be giving anything up to 50 millimetres in some places. That's 2 inches of rain, more likely over high ground, but coming down onto some lower ground as well. As we go through in towards 6 o'clock in the morning, still pouring with rain through much of Wales and Midlands, increasingly going up in towards Lincolnshire and into parts of Yorkshire as well. Again, the heaviest of the rain is on around the triple point, which by that time is starting to move in towards a Humber area really, but it's a very wet scene there still for much of England and Wales. So it's going to rain for many hours. The rain's going to start this afternoon quite widely. It's already starting in the southwest, although it'll clear from there later on. But really for Wales, the Midlands, parts of Lincolnshire, East Anglia, central southern England, that rain's going to be on for many, many hours through the afternoon, the evening, and into tomorrow morning as well. And then as we go through into Wednesday morning, this is lunchtime, Wednesday, midday Wednesday, that rain then is increasingly becoming confined to northeastern England and down into northern parts of England as well, possibly still going on in towards the north and eastern part of the Midlands, but really that rain is becoming increasingly confined to the northeast. And then finally, by the end of tomorrow afternoon, it's pulling away in towards the North Sea, and then we're into a run of showery sort of weather. So the total precipitation forecast that we can expect with this, or the total precipitation accumulation that the model is predicting by the time we get to this period, 36 hours away. Let's just have a look at that. It'll load up in a moment, but it's going to be really terrific sort of amounts of precipitation likely across central parts of the country down in towards Wales as well. This is the total precipitation forecast from the NAE model, and it's anything up to 25 millimetres quite widely across central parts of England. But for this specific area from South Wales in towards the West and North Midlands, we see anything up to 50 millimetres there, so that's a lot of precipitation, 2 inches of rain from this rain event in that area. That's around River Severn area, so River Severn could well be in a state of, certainly it's going to be high, it could well be in a state of local flooding in 1 or 2 places, and the rivers elsewhere are likely to be up, of course, with a lot of precipitation. As we go beyond that, we're going to be looking at showers through the rest of the working week with this low pressure sitting over the country, so that's going to produce more showers through Wednesday into Thursday, and showers likely on Friday as well. There's the convective potential for Thursday, and it's shown that we have got convective potential again across the country, just indicating that most showers could be thundery. And this is precipitation forecast for Thursday. Yes, there could be some heavy and thundery showers around the country through the latter stage of the week. And then as we go into the weekend, we've got real problems then at the weekend with this area of low pressure sitting across Germany on Saturday morning. I've been talking about this low pressure for central England for quite a few days now. Yesterday I did the video and said I thought it looked like that low pressure was going to stay on the other side of the North Sea, but things have developed and gone downhill with this through the course of the last few model runs, and particularly into this morning. There's a lot of energy fueling that low pressure. It's going to be a hot scene across eastern parts of Europe at the end of the week and into the weekend. Some really high 850 temperatures coming out of the eastern Mediterranean. That's it's all going to get pulled into that low pressure and fuel the low pressure. The low pressure will then explode into life and really start to blow up. So this is the precipitation forecast across Central Europe at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Very heavy precipitation there through northeastern France in towards the Low Countries and into Germany. Those purple colours indicating torrential rain, thunderstorms as well. And that all starts to head our way as we move in towards Saturday. So by 6 o'clock in the evening on Saturday, this is the horrendous looking chart that the GFS model is coming up with this morning. A 1,000 millibar area of low pressure sitting across southeastern England. Gale force and northeasterly winds coming around that low pressure, bringing very cold air out of the North Sea, and there's torrential rain coming in with that low pressure as well. So this is the precipitation forecast for 6 o'clock in the evening on Saturday. Look at that, really torrential rain across England and Wales. That's giving anything up to 50 millimetres widely across England and Wales. It could be a bit overdone, but really from this kind of pattern, with the kind of energy that's fueling the low pressure, that is actually quite plausible. There's the high upper air temperatures that's going into the low pressure. You can see what's happening. The low pressure is sitting there across southeastern England. This east and northeasterly wind, despite the fact it's cold wind, bring cold air off the North Sea, which of course is in a cold state after the cold winter, but in the upper atmosphere there's very warm temperatures being dragged into this low pressure, and that just fuels the low pressure and gives us the potential for the higher levels of precipitation with torrential rain. So despite the fact we have got those high 850 temperatures, it's actually a very cold day being forecast on Saturday with that torrential rain, with temperatures barely into double figures quite widely, and it'll certainly feel very cold in that easterly wind. And then as we go into Sunday, well, the washout continues really with that low pressure just sitting there across southern England. Gale force winds coming around that low pressure. A horrendous sort of chart really that for Sunday. Probably the heaviest rain coming increasingly confined to the south, but we've got this gale force easterly wind coming around that low pressure. That's a proper sort of storm type system developing, and that low pressure then continues as we go into Sunday, just keeping showers or longer spells of rain going, but the most torrential rain will probably be on Saturday. Certainly probably a more showery scene, but those ice spells are very tightly packed across southern England, so a real gale going on there. And that continues as going to the start of next week with the low pressure. The isobars do space out, so we lose the gales, but the low pressure is still there, more or less to the south and the southwest, no doubt still producing showers or longer spells of rain. The ECMWF agrees with this low pressure. There it is across Germany at midnight on Saturday as we go through 24 hours. We can't go through in 6-hour steps with the ECM as we do with the GFS, but nevertheless, as we go through to midnight on Sunday, that low pressure has moved from Germany and it's then sitting across central parts of England. This got the gale force winds much further north and west across Scotland, northern Scotland. But it's the same sort of idea really, that we take the low pressure from Germany and the Low Countries, moving into the country through Saturday, giving a very wet Saturday. It will be an absolute washout on Saturday with that. And the GEM, again, there's the low pressure sitting across Germany at midnight on Saturday morning as we go through, and we go through another 24 hours with this. Well, there's the low pressure, then it's moved from Germany and the Low Countries, it's sitting across England and Wales. The gale force east to northeasterly winds are around the northern and western side of that low pressure, so it's really for Scotland and Northern Ireland getting the gales. So the ECM and the GM are a little bit further north with the wind potential over the weekend to the GFS, which is further south, but it's the same sort of idea, and we're going to have to firm up on the actual weather that develops from this, but it's the same idea that we're developing that low pressure across Germany and the Low Countries on Friday into Saturday. A lot of energy going into that low pressure, fueling the low pressure, and that produces a lot of torrential rain as that low pressure moves in through Saturday from the east. And quite unusual to see low pressure moving from the east to the west. Normally, of course, for us it's west to east, but this one is moving east to west from Germany into the country on Saturday. Will produce a lot of torrential rain if it comes off as predicted. Definitely a risk of flooding. Of course, it'll just add to the rain that's going to fall in the next 24 hours. So definitely by the weekend there will be the risk of flooding with that torrential rain. Could be thunderstorms embedded with that as well. Gale force east to northeasterly wind. A truly horrendous washout weekend if that's right. So obviously I'll be keeping you updated on it. I'll be doing the 5-day forecast tomorrow. It will be a big player, I think, for that 5-day forecast. So come back tomorrow for more information on the developments for the weekend. And finally, later on today, I'll be doing another forecast for the bank holiday weekend as well. So come back around 7 o'clock tonight for the next stage of the bank holiday weekend forecast. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.